Hey, it's the holidays, and you likely have a list of people you need to buy gifts for and have no idea what to get for them. Well, Gamebox Monthly has you covered. Send awesome tabletop games that bring people together this holiday. Visit GameboxMonthly.com and give the gift of great times, perfect for everyone on your list.
When it comes to this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Hooray! Welcome to another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her,
Sarah Oliver.
Sarah Oliver. And today we are joined by Joe Hospodor.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on here, Hospodorable. Hey, you have a podcast too.
I do. It is called Hey You Made It, and we don't talk about Greek stuff, but you
What do you
guys
talk about? What else is there to talk about?
I don't know. That's why I came on here to talk about Greek stuff, because I'm jealous, because we don't talk about that.
What do you talk about on Hey You Made It?
We talk about comedians doing comedy in the Los Angeles comedy scene.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of comedy.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, that's wonderful. Do you shorten that sometimes to HYMI?
yeah, that's the
Me?
Me.
Uh-huh.
him with Joe Hospodor.
And to everybody today, I'm very sorry. I have a cold, but luckily, Joe Hospodor will be doing a very booming, loud laugh for the both of us.
Wait, say booming again.
Booming.
Okay.
Yeah. So there, just imagine I laughed.
Perfect. It's good that you can like turn it off sometimes.
Yeah.
Turn off the joy in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I'm in a dark hole.
Today we're going to talk about Pelops.
I'm sorry?
Pelops.
Pelops. Wait, isn't that like a gross thing?
You're thinking of polyps.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I just thought of like the screwdriver, like Phillips head, but then it's Pelops?
It's a Pelops head. It's how Sarah would say Phillips with her cold, I'm sure.
Pelops.
Pelops.
We talked about what's his face last week? Oedipus 2 weeks ago. With
More
my dad.
like, what's his eyes? Am I right?
Yep, that's what we
That's
called
a
him.
Greek joke, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's the only Greek joke you're going to get out of me today.
What's his eyes?
Yeah.
And we mentioned Pelops in the history of Laius. And so I thought, you know what? We need to talk about Pelops because we talked about his father Tantalus and we talked about what happened to his son Chrysippus. So now it's time to talk about Pelops and his ivory shoulder.
Oh, God. That's going to come in handy.
Wait, his shoulder
Is made of
ivory, not
Made of ivory.
colored ivory. Okay.
Well, it's colored ivory as well, but it's made of ivory.
Okay.
Pelops is a famous figure from Greek mythology. So famous, you guys have both heard of him.
Yeah.
And he is one of the strongest and wealthiest kings
Well,
of all of ancient Greece.
if his shoulder's made out
every
of
king.
ivory, and he's got to be doing pretty well for himself.
I feel like he's doing not so great.
The name Pelops even lives on today for Peloponnesus or the Peloponnesian Peninsula.
Okay.
Okay. I know
All right.
that.
Now we're actually using words.
Yeah. And even though he's, was strong and wealthy, he's not known for his kingly characteristics, but he's known for being a member of the house of Atreus, which is the most cursed or becursed family of Greek
Well,
mythology.
you got to pick one. You can't be cursed, cursed, and becursed.
I like cursed.
I like cursed,
cursed.
too. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
a little
but
more
how
weight.
are they so cursed if they have so much money?
Well, so the curse was placed upon the house of Atreus due to the misdoings of Tantalus. And Tantalus
Was his daddy?
was Pelops' dad. Pelops was fed to the gods because Tantalus...
Wait, what?
Tantalus was trying to impress the gods by holding a grand feast, and he thought, you know what, the best thing I can do is to show my devotion to them is to serve up my oldest son
What?
Pelops.
What's that logic?
in a stew, and
Oh.
all of the gods being all-seeing, saw him do this and knew that he was in the stew, except for Demeter, who was distraught after the loss of her daughter Persephone to Hades.
Oh,
And
she get cooked
it's coming
too?
back
So
around.
no, she
she ate it. She took a bite out of that shoulder, didn't she?
yeah, no, Persephone just got married to Hades, but Demeter took a bite out of the stew and ate Pelops' shoulder. So when they restored Pelops to life, he was missing that chunk that Demeter did a little nibble on, and she replaced it with a piece of ivory, a divine piece of ivory.
Do people get fed to other gods a lot in Greek mythology?
This is the most well-known and chronicled case of
Yeah,
it.
I don't know about too many cannibal times, huh?
That just seems like that's a big step.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird move on his daddy's.
I mean, I get like making a ritual sacrifice, but
You get it?
cooking someone and serving them as food is, well, I mean, because there's a difference between, I mean, I don't condone ritual sacrifice, but like, I
Don't
feel like
you all the time on Hey You Made It?
I
Yeah.
do.
You
Yeah.
made that ritual sacrifice.
Yeah. Let's talk about you killing that one person and what it meant for the comedy world. No, it just feeding someone to someone seems like a lot, but
It is a lot.
that seems like a lot.
So the actions of Tantalus were the starting point of this curse placed upon his house. And it manifested itself in his other children. His daughter Niobe was that queen that we've talked about a few times before, who had 7 daughters and 7 sons, and she bragged about being a better woman than Leto, and thus Apollo and Artemis came down and slaughtered all of her children before her eyes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Zeus took pity on her, turned her into a rock.
Yep.
That's the way he takes pity on people.
Yep.
She's a crying rock for eternity. Less known is her younger brother, Proteus. And
Sup, bro?
and Proteus, I had to look up because it was described to me as like, and this happened to Niobe, and then Proteus self-immolated. And I was like, well, tell me more. Tell me more about how Proteus self-immolated. So Proteus was a hunter, but also a great sculptor.
Yeah, man, I hunt, I sculpt, and, kind of a renaissance, man. It's no big, I got a lot of hobbies.
It took me for a second to realize you were speaking. It sounded a little bit like you were malfunctioning for a second.
No, man, I just, like, I'm creative, but I also like to take care of my body, Like, yeah.
You're like the ultimate bro.
I'm like the ultimate bro.
Yes.
And so Proteus was a sculptor, and he sculpted an image of Cybele, or also known as Rhea, into a crag called Codinus upon Mount Sipilius.
Oh, fuck.
Babe, I made this crag for you.
So basically, he carved the image of the Titaness Rhea into
Okay.
the side of a mountain.
Okay.
And this relief is still seen today in the remnants of Manisa in Turkey.
Oh, so it actually exists.
It
A real
actually
thing.
exists.
I like
Whether or not
hearing about real things.
Okay.
whether or not Proteus actually did this is up for debate, but
Someone did.
someone did.
Okay.
Or
and
many
it's attributed to him.
Oh.
So
Cool story, Brody.
Proteus is carving this thing, and as he's carving the sculpture, bling, 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 bling,
What just happened?
Artemis is coming down from Mount Olympus.
I need
hello.
you to do that sound effect one more time.
Bling, 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 bling. Hey, it is I, Artemis, goddess of the hunt. Proteus, what's up? What are you doing?
Oh, just working on this crag.
You're working on this crag.
Yeah, on this mount.
So I don't know if you know this, but this is my sacred hunting ground you're in right now.
what?
Well,
Oh,
one of
wow.
my few. And it's cool what you're doing. I like my grandma. It's cool that you're like sculpting an
Yeah,
image
no.
of her.
I love family.
Yeah, and
I'm
this
all
rock.
about family and like connecting with people.
I was wondering though,
Uh-huh.
because this is my sacred hunting ground.
Yeah.
Could you also carve an image of me here? Like maybe make it a family thing. Maybe, you could even put like Leto here too. Make it like generations of like strong, powerful women from my family. Like, would that be cool?
I'm just like, yeah. I mean, like I'm, it's just I'm so busy, but like,
Oh,
no. Like it's
Okay.
I got so much going on right now, but
Right.
like, I just love that you love my art. I think that's so awesome. So
okay, great. So I'm gonna bling bling off back to Mount Olympus. You enjoy continuing to sculpt.
yeah, I'm just gonna hunt for a bit, maybe take a quick shower, and then probably get back to sculpting. You know?
Right. Okay.
I just cool.
Okay.
Text me.
So Artemis goes back to Mount Olympus, and she's really confused why he would turn down her sculpting, Brodius sculpting an image of her, because additionally she promised him wealth, her favor, additional hunting supplies, but Brodius was too lazy, bored, I don't know, disinterested, or perhaps a true artist. Like, I'm not going to do it if you ask me. So she
Go to my Etsy store.
she goes back to Mount Olympus, and of course Apollo notices her in a mood.
Oh God, does he throw a frisbee at her?
And so Artemis sees Apollo. Hey, Apollo.
Hey, what's up? You want to play a game?
No, I'm not really in the mood. There's this like hunter.
Watch out!
Whoa, careful.
Oh, seduct your head off.
Yeah, he won't sculpt an image of me in my sacred hunting ground.
The fuck?
Yeah.
He's
but
dead.
don't do something crazy
dead.
though. Don't do something
He's dead.
crazy. No, you don't have
He's
to kill
dead.
him. You don't have
Sorry,
to.
I saw a frisbee go by. Are you guys playing Ultimate?
Oh, careful. Whoa, you're missing your body now as you're just a talking head.
Oh fuck!
So Apollo tells Nemesis, and Nemesis, goddess of justice and murdering people, Nemesis sends madness upon Brodius. And
Is madness a god?
it really is. And thus Brodius is lighting his campfire that day and throws himself upon his fire and burns himself to death. And
What a
that's
fucking hipster.
Yep. So
I died the way I live, bro.
Brodius also before he died had a son that he named after his father Tantalus, and Tantalus too would become king.
Oh God, I love those Tyler Paler movies.
And he became king of Lydia and the first husband of Clytemnestra. And if you're familiar with Greek mythology, you'll be like, ooh, Clytemnestra, that's a name that I remember. But if not, whatever. We'll get to that later. So back to Pelops, though. Pelops was brought back to life, and he was said to have been an improved version of himself. Like, death really did good things for him.
Like he came back and he kind of had like eyeliner on and
Yeah, he's
a little
like
leaner,
a better haircut.
He was working it.
a little bit more confident.
He was said to have become more handsome than before.
Oh,
One might even call him a handsome youth. And
wow,
No.
Rogaine.
And so Poseidon took interest in him.
Oh no.
Hello, I am Poseidon, god of the sea.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I couldn't help but notice that you're a beautiful youth.
Yeah, no, I just kind of got reincarnated. I feel younger. I feel a little lighter. You know?
Run.
Shut up, bird.
Run.
How are you underwater right now, bird?
Butt sex.
Well, anyway,
That bird was weird.
I couldn't help but notice that you have an ivory shoulder, and I could.
This whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I would love to have you be one of my charioteers. I just lost Ganymede, and I would love to have another handsome young man.
Yeah. You know, I don't really get anything going on right now. I got to put the shoulder to use somehow. So,
He's gonna try to have sex with you.
is that the butt sex bird again?
Yeah, that's the butt
Oh,
sex bird.
okay.
He always warns of the butt sex. But yes. So I'm going to take a little, because we're approaching the holidays, I thought I would bring up now that there are correlations between Poseidon and Santa Claus.
What a segue.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this just turned into a BuzzFeed article. I love it.
Well, the reason I was looking for that recently because I know that there are correlations between pagan ritual and Christmas, and I was thinking there's got to be some sort of thread with Greek mythology, and the thread seems to be with Poseidon here. You know, trying to entice this young man into having sex with him, gives him many, many gifts, and in fact, the act of Poseidon.
So the first sugar daddy ever is Santa Claus?
Mhm,
I thought you were going to compare him to Rudolph because he asked him to pull his chariot.
Oh,
That's kind of what Santa Claus did
won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
when
yeah,
he tried to have sex with Rudolph before making him pull his
well,
chariot.
we can add that to the BuzzFeed list of reasons Poseidon is like Santa Claus. Yes. So yeah, Poseidon classically gives gifts to youth, to children. He has a long beard. He drives a sleigh. And Saint Nicholas, when Christianity was moving across Greece, was introduced to Greek folklore, and he became a patron saint for fishermen and sailors, and was described to the Greeks as like, oh, Saint Nicholas, he's like a Christian Poseidon, and they're like, oh, okay. Cathedrals dedicated to Saint Nicholas were built upon or beside temples to Poseidon, and that's their sort of interesting correlation there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Don't hear about Santa writing like a third list, like a I'd hit it list, which is for the best. I'm glad you can't be like, oh, Christianity really cleaned some stuff up, but there's spots.
we'll go with that. So after years of working with Poseidon and being his lover, Pelops presumably gets too old for Poseidon. So
Was he 16 now?
I thought, well, so Poseidon likes
youth.
Yeah. Okay.
So as soon as he became too manly, he was like, okay, time for you to go. And so Pelops leaves Olympus and arrives at the kingdom of Oenomaus
Oh, that sounds fancy.
at Pisa, Greece.
Is that like a resort?
Yeah.
And
Club Med.
it's named for Oenomaus, who was a king who was favored by the god Ares. So we have Pelops, who just left Mount Olympus, who had his steeds of Poseidon and chariot that Poseidon gave to him. And now we have the king Oenomaus, who also has a chariot presented to him by Ares. But as we all know, Ares is the butt of the Greek gods. Like, he just nothing ever goes his way. So I think we all know that Oenomaus is going to lose this. Spoiler alert! He's going to lose this challenge. So Oenomaus has a beautiful daughter, Hippodamia, and she was of marrying age, so probably 9.
12. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And Pelops has heard tales of her great beauty, so he's come down from Olympus. He's very impressive. He has great wealth, everything that Poseidon has given him. And he's like, I've come. I want to marry your daughter, Hippodamia. But an oracle once told Oenomaus that any future son-in-law would kill him. So he does not want Hippodamia to be married. So Oenomaus devised a plan that would hopefully dissuade all potential suitors of Hippodamia. For the king proclaimed that the first person to outrun his own chariot in a race to the Isthmus of Corinth would win his daughter's hand. And if the suitor did not outrun his chariot, then he would be killed, and their head would be placed on a pike in front of the palace.
What a great line she gets to tell guys she's just not interested in. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't go out with you because my dad has this whole thing, like, where your head will be on a pike.
That's what
an
she
easy
tells
out for her.
Literally everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a race against his chariot pulled by the horses of Ares. And if trying to beat him and death wasn't enough to dissuade all suitors, even before Pelops arrived, 18 other men had attempted the race, and of course, all 18 men had failed. And so there's 18 heads to greet him when he enters the city.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice.
And they all have names for some reason.
The heads all have names.
Well, the men that all 18 men had names, and
I thought he just renamed them like different names.
This is George.
This is Stabby.
Yeah. And so I felt like I should, honor all of these men by listing their names here, and it's because they're all great
they all
names.
gonna rhyme.
This is like the Oscars when they do the
In memoriam.
in memoriam.
Well, there was the very first was Marmax, and Marmax, I believe, sounds like a fusion between a household cleaner and like a Australian spreadable
More Max.
Yeah, more
Oh.
Max.
Can't do accents
Is
today.
your drapes too dusty? Use Marmax.
It or that old SNL commercial. It's a dessert topping. It's a floor polish. It's both. Well,
Marmax.
so after he died, he was buried with his.
Australian.
He was buried with his 2 horses, or I guess just his body was buried with his 2 horses.
They kill a horse?
Oh yeah.
What?
Fuck this
wait,
story.
they killed the horse with the guy.
Mhm.
Oh man.
And you don't get to marry my daughter neither.
Sorry, horse.
Nay. So Parthenia and Erypha were his horses, and they were buried with him. And then, all right.
Not the names I would have gone with, but okay.
And then the rest of these people, because Marmax was my favorite name, are Alcathius, Eurylaus, Eurymachus,
You're a jerk.
Crotalus, Acreus, Capitus, Lycurgus, Lasius, Chalcedon, Tricolonus. Oh, tricolonus sounds like a medical procedure.
Yeah, that's a fucking description.
Astromachus, Prius, so your car, Pelagon,
He got great mileage before he died.
Yeah.
Really great mileage.
Aeolianus,
Oh,
The god of sauce.
like,
Yeah.
mayonnaise.
Cronius,
Wait, Cronius. We've heard that name.
Erythras,
Wait, Eric Ross?
Eric Ross, Ionius, and Ionius was son of Magnus, which of course is a X-Men character. But yeah, so those are the 18 men that like they're like the chorus boys. I bet if they'd be singing like in Disney's A Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So though Pelops was still confident,
Well, why? That's Jesus.
because he has the fleet of Poseidon, and Poseidon's horses are guaranteed to be faster than Ares' horses because it's Ares.
Yeah, of course, the god of the sea has amazing
Horses come from the sea. We've learned this.
Sea horses.
Mhm.
Yep.
So when Hippodamia sees Pelops, though, she immediately falls in love with him.
Oh, okay. Because he came back looking like
He looks great.
He's rocking that ivory.
Yeah. And so Hippodamia doesn't know that his horses came from Poseidon. And so she's afraid that he's going to lose. So she goes and meets with Myrtilus. Myrtilus.
yes.
Hi, it's me, Hippodamia. How's it going?
Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah,
You're the princess.
and you're the king's charioteer.
Yes.
Yeah, and you live in the stables, and we don't.
I live in shit and hay.
It's really weird though because like you're the son of Hermes, and so I'm surprised that you've chosen this life for yourself.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great life.
And
It's like I am laying around in shit and hay, and those are my 2 favorite things.
Well, look out the window with me. You see that? Do you see that beautiful youth out there?
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's got a stunning. I'd love to put him in some hay and some
Well,
shit.
Thank you.
Roll
well,
around
his
in
name
it.
is Pelops. He's here to try to seduce me. Listen, though, you can hear him like singing like a Disney prince right now.
Oh, this
Li-
is awkward.
Listen to him.
Horse, race me to the moon with you. Horse, you're the horse, of course.
Well, I mean, at least he's good looking.
Yeah, I mean he's great looking.
Yeah.
This is my horse. He is a horse, of course.
Anyway,
He's got a nice tight ass.
that he does. But I'm very worried because of his. My dad's a very fast racer, and he's singing about a horse out there.
Yeah.
Time to run the course with my horse
I was wondering.
to win this
I'll just close
race
the blinds so we can't hear him very well.
with my horse. Horse,
Oh boy.
horse, 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 horse.
So
Yeah.
if you help,
are you sure about this?
I'm very sure.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
I need to have sex.
Oh.
So
Hey! You want to roll the hay? The hay's right here, baby.
No,
We got the hay.
I want to.
baby.
You saw that tight ass.
I did.
So I will give you if you help me cheat. I promise you can rule half of the kingdom. If you help my
Do you mean I get all the horse shit and hay I want?
all of the horse. Yes, every stable yours.
You got yourself a deal, little girl.
Excellent. So, Myrtilus, when he sets up Oenomaus' chariot, he doesn't use bronze linchpins. Instead, he uses ones he forged out of beeswax. And so... and so it's sort of a miracle that the chariot even is able to like drive to the race. But
it's organic though.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
it's pretty
There's
good
a lot
beeswax.
of DIY
Reducing his carbon
DIY
imprint.
boys this episode.
And it was said to be the grandest chariot race in all history. So, but I can only imagine still that it's moving very slowly because in order for the beeswax linchpins to hold together the wheels to the chariot. But as the wheels turned and heated up, the wax eventually melted and the chariot fell to pieces.
Oh no.
And Oenomaus was dragged to death by his horses.
Oh God.
Bye, Dad. Gonna get fucked now.
And realizing what Myrtilus has done, Oenomaus, with his dying breath, curses Myrtilus, proclaiming that Myrtilus will die at the hand of Pelops.
And then the horses put his head on a stake.
So,
How does he have the power to curse?
well,
You can't just pass a curse on.
everyone curses. That's the name of our other podcast. Everyone curses.
There's just a random dude in the crowd. He misses the curse. Curse you! What the fuck did I do? I'm just here. I'm
Everyone-
Bob.
Yeah, Bob always gets cursed.
Bob's always
That
cursed.
always happens to me.
The cursed.
So Pelops finds himself now in a great position because he can now wed Hippodamia, and with Oenomaus dead, he has a kingdom to rule over. But then Hippodamia tells Pelops what she did, and she's like, "Pelops, hey, you can finish singing now your celebratory song." Okay. You didn't. My dad is dead because of me.
What?
I told Myrtilus, that stable guy, to replace his linchpins with beeswax, and that's why you are the ruler. But now Myrtilus has to rule half the kingdom.
It sounds like we should keep singing about horses.
So after Pelops finishes singing his second song about horses,
It was great.
He realizes that if he gives Myrtilus half of the kingdom, it'll be obvious that King Oenomaus had not died by accident. So to hide his part in the regicide, Pelops instead decides to do away with him. And so Pelops throws Myrtilus into the sea. And the point where Myrtilus fell would become known as the Myrtoan Sea.
Oh.
Even as he fell, though, Myrtilus had
no. Did he have one more curse?
he had time to place a curse
Stop.
on his murderer,
This is stupid.
condemning the family line of Pelops to generation of strife. And this particular curse is the curse that haunts the descendants of Pelops, including Atreus, Thyestes, Agamemnon, Aegisth, Menelaus, and Orestes.
You'll
Good
never
God.
be able to sing about horses ever. How was that a common thing for people to just throw people into the sea?
Yes.
If they were mad at them?
Every day it happened.
Wow.
Remember, Sarah, there was that one woman who was thrown into the sea, and she like turned into a bird as she was thrown into the sea, but then
'cause
landed in the sea and
drunk-ass
became an
Artemis.
island.
Yeah.
Okay, but so they're actually like we're like on a cliff and being thrown. They're not just on the beach and just throwing them in the shallow water and running away. Because
No.
that was the image I had.
No, this is not like a
dumping
father playfully throwing their child into the water. Yeah, no, this is death. High cliffs.
Okay.
So, in memory of Oenomaus, the Olympic Games were created. And there's actually several mythic legendary origins of the Olympic Games, but this is one of them because a chariot race was classically part of the ancient games, and so they're like, this was the first.
On top of the event, throwing people into the sea.
Throwing people. That was
Human javelin.
Yeah. Human. Yeah.
So following all of this, there's some other craziness happened with like after the death of his son Chrysippus. He didn't believe that that Chrysippus had killed himself. I'll fill you in on this, Joe, and for anyone else who didn't listen to the episode about Oedipus, Laius comes to the city and then runs off with his youngest son, Chrysippus, and under the guise of teaching him how to drive a chariot, but like drives him like it's basically if I was like, Joe, I'm going to teach you how to drive, and then we drove like all the way to San Diego before you realized like, oh wait, you're just tricking me into driving you to San Diego. And then once you were there, I raped you, and then you killed yourself.
Wow.
So that's basically what happened to Chrysippus.
You said that with a lot of conviction, like that's something that you've been planning.
Yeah. I was inspired by the story of Laius.
He does need a ride.
But
You're safe unless you're a beautiful youth. You're a
no,
little
that's
too old.
That's a good lesson for Greece, is what I'm picking up on right now.
Yeah.
So after the death of Chrysippus, Pelops believed that his other sons were responsible for the death of Chrysippus, and so like exiled a bunch of his sons. Hippodamia became afraid of him, and she ended up running away from him too.
Oh, wow.
So he sort of ended his rule sad and lonely. And there's no mention in ancient texts about the death of him, but it's thought that his bones were laid to rest in Elis, for his fabled sarcophagus was found there near the Temple of Artemis. But his bones would continue to be an important player in Greek mythology because they made 2 more appearances.
They cooked a great stew with them.
I guess so, yeah.
Made a bone broth.
So first, while the Greeks were engaged in the siege of Troy during the Trojan War, they were informed by an oracle that the city could not be taken unless the bones of Pelops were brought from Elis to Troas. And I think that these oracles were just fucking with people.
Yeah. What do you need the bones for?
So Agamemnon dispatches a ship to bring his bones from Pisa. Unfortunately, the ship and its precious cargo were subsequently lost during a storm, and his body was thrown overboard.
Yeah.
So all of those people died on the way to get bones.
To get bones, yeah.
Wow.
It
sucks.
Then, years later, the ivory shoulder of Pelops was dredged up from the depths by a fisherman called Demarmenus.
We need more menus over here.
Yeah.
And he took the bone to Delphi, apparently immediately recognizing this one piece of ivory that I'm sure is like eroded. You know, it's just like, oh, this must be Pelops' famed shoulder bone. And he takes it to this oracle. And coincidentally, a committee from Elis is also present at Delphi, seeking guidance about a plague ravaging their state. And so with this piece of bone that he's there with, the oracle says, oh, you have to take this bone back to Pelops' homeland. And Demarmenus was given the honored position as guardian of the bone. And the plague rampaging through Elis was abated because they brought his bones back. Or his singular bone, his ivory bone, the divine bone.
There's spots of Greek mythology where like just somebody got a really shitty myth in.
Yeah.
And they're like, fine, we'll keep it.
We'll keep the story of Demarmenus, the fisherman, and his bone guardianship.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's sort of an odd end to it was like we had the story that had like the tragic beginning and then like the action-packed chariot race and then weird whys and wherefores afterwards.
Yeah.
I just hate having to be the person to explain to the family of whoever died on that boat. Just like, if like you're like, like you're just like, I'm so sorry.
The town psychic said to bring bones to the battle.
He went down. What happened? He was struck down while trying to bring bones back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some old bones.
So like, is Bones at least like a favored doctor aboard a starship or something?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Come on. So so that's the story of Pelops. I felt like we needed to talk about it since we talked about the prequel and the sequel.
Well, it's another depressing tale. Thank you so much.
I just think that from what I can tell, and I don't know a lot about Greek mythology, but I feel like if we just talk through our problems instead of putting heads on stakes and racing chariot horses with beeswax, I feel like a lot less people would die If we just talk instead of
So you're
But
saying less
history
oracles,
keeps repeating itself. We keep doing this chariot race with the with the beeswax.
less oracles, maybe more therapists?
Mm, mhm.
I don't know what the insurance is like on Mount Olympus, but maybe just get somebody up there to just counsel a few of them.
Yeah, maybe the fucking Hearth girl can, sit down and listen to some people.
Oh yeah, or Hebe the cupbearer.
No, she's busy.
Horses. Hi, I'm Daniel Danielson,
Hi, I'm Danielle Danielison.
and we're here to sell you a terrific box set of music, accompanied by a sarcophagus full of bones.
Pelops Ponies.
Pelops Ponies, songs about horses written by the famous Greek king Pelops. Do you remember my favorite one?
Yes, I know your favorite one.
My favorite one is a love song called Keep Clopping Towards Me.
Keep clopping towards me. You are my horsey. Gonna ride you round this chariot stadium. Hope the beeswax doesn't keep us apart. Horsey.
Daniel, you're such a sap. I like that old R&B song though. The Trotting Away from Poseidon by Sugar Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to wait from me. You march back here into the sea and figure this out with me, 'cause you're my horsey. You're my horsey, and I love you, and I need
The fun
you.
thing about the album is that every song is the exact same tempo. I don't think you get enough of that on albums.
Yeah, even that great rap song called Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, you're my horse, whoa, whoa. And of course we're gonna go and race today. We're gonna race the day away, whoa.
Oh, Daniel, you've never heard rap.
I've never heard rap before in my life. But if you call now and order this, I will throw Danielle into the ocean.
Oh boy, what a deal.
Call now, please. Well, Joe, thanks so much for being on this episode about.
Hey, you made it. You made it on as a guest on our show.
Yeah, that's also the name of my podcast.
What?
So that's really cool how that tied in.
Now, if one would like to listen to your podcast and find more about you, Joe Hospodor, what would they have to do?
You can go to Hey You Made It, HEYYOUMADE.podbean.com, and all of our episodes are up there. We have interviews with people who perform and write shows in the LA comedy scene at Second City, the Pack Theater, IO, UCB. And if you have a show that you are writing and want to promote, definitely hit me up on the Facebook.
Well, and if I wanted just to follow you because I like you as a writer and a comedian, how would I find you?
You can go on Twitter.
I can.
At Joe Hospodor.
Excellent.
HOSPODOR. I am also on Instagram at Hospodork. It's my last name with a K at the end. Or you can just throw yourself into the sea and I'll find you.
Excellent.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, yeah, you're still here.
Oh, sorry. Gonna go throw myself into the ocean.
Yeah, no, we'll do it for you.
Okay. You guys got any bones?
So when Dionysus came up to Mount Olympus, everyone was thrilled because he brought live performance to Mount Olympus and when everyone was so bored. So here with me right now, I have Zen Zenith, and Zen is all about live musical art.
Yeah, so my house isn't quite Mount Olympus, but I do like to have shows there and live performances, and then I record them and put them up on the internet for everyone to hear, and I call it the House Show Show.
The House Show Show.
Yeah, so the House Show Show is a podcast where I have musical guests come on and they play a little song, do a little dance, and then I talk to them and the audience talks to them. It feels very intimate, but then it goes out into the world for everyone and their mom to hear.
That's great because sometimes I like live music, but I don't actually want to be there for the live music.
I feel that.
Yeah. So where can I listen to this?
You can check it out online at thehouseshowshow.com or on iTunes and Stitcher, where you can subscribe for free.
That sounds like something I'm going to do right this very instant.
I'm going to hold you to that,
No,
Paul.
stop
I'll be
talking to me.
watching.
I'm signing
okay.
up.
dragon wagon.